Yo, what's up? A new year started and people, especially enlisted players, are already confused, posting questions on social media. To make it simple for everyone, I'm gonna quickly answer all of the most googled questions by enlisted players on the internet. And we start with the funniest question of them all: how to have fun. Yes, because apparently many people, myself included oftentimes, struggle to have fun in enlisted. And this question is absolutely justified because the game has too many features that are straight up unfun. Now, if people ask how to have fun, what you're actually asking for is how to find the good stuff, how to get more of the good stuff, how to get more cool, fun games, and more importantly even, how to avoid all of the bad stuff. Now, here's my quick solution for everyone, and it's the same thing that I'm using. Get good at something at the game. For example, become a good engineer, become a good tanker, become a good pilot, or whatever. And then you'll be able to carry games. So you will have a big impact on games, even if the teams are quite unbalanced. And then find yourself your favorite BR. The 5 BRs of Enlisted are very distinct, and the most fun BR overall is BR2. Especially for people who struggle having fun. In Enlisted overall, BR2 gives you the best experience. It's where all weapons shine. It's where the power level is low, that strategy and tactics and thinking is actually capable of dominating games. You can enjoy the maps. The games aren't too fast, they aren't too hectic. You actually have time to just enjoy the atmosphere of a game. And even if you want to play together with other people, with completely new players who aren't that good at the game, it's not a problem, because low BR isn't full of sweat stacks, unlike BR5. So yeah, the most fun way to play Enlisted is just get good at something that you like, so you can always do it without dragging the team down, and then just play BR2. Now, a big hint here is also to not play Americans, because Americans are the nation that's by far plagued the most with new players who just completely horribly play. So if you want to have teams that aren't too abysmal, just avoid playing Americans. That's a sad truth, and American players don't like it, but it's how it is. So just play Germans instead. If you want the biggest selection of maps, because if you want to see as many maps as possible enlisted, playing BR2 Germans is absolutely perfect. And BR2 Soviets and Japanese is also fine, but the map selection is basically only half, even less than that of what Germans see. So yeah, the peak enlisted experience regarding fun is BR2 Germans. Next question: is Enlisted Pay to Win? Simple answer: no. More precise answer: absolutely no. It's actually one of the least pay to win games out there, especially among free-to-play games. Why? Because the premium squads that you can buy, that are very expensive, are not very good. Very few of them are actually really good, and I myself played 2 years straight without any premium squads because I wanted to just have a pure normal tech tree lineup. And once I started getting many premium squads, I noticed it's not making a big difference, because the squads are actually well balanced by making the premium squads all smaller than normal squads. And this way, even if they have better weapons, they still overall don't have a bigger firepower. So they're just different to play, but they're not stronger. And many premium squads are just straight up much worse than what you get in the tech tree. So no, it's definitely not pay to win. Regarding the vehicles, in rare exceptions, there are some tanks that are really good, but there's once again not a single tank or a single plane in the game that's straight up much better than what you get in the tech tree. For the Germans, nothing is better than King Tigers. For Americans, nothing is better than Super Pershing. For the Soviets, not well. There you have actually different choices to make, because the tanks are all distinct, but not a single premium tank for the Soviets is better than IS-1 or IS-2. And for the Japanese, once again, nothing's better than the Hori. And you can do the same discussion for all BRs, and you will see, yep, the game is actually very well balanced regarding the premium features. The only premium features that are really, really good are getting a premium account so you can have more squads and level faster. but this doesn't make the game less fair. Yeah, so the game, more precisely said, is pay to progress, so you can grind faster, but it's not pay to win. So this is one of the best aspects of the game, and very rare nowadays, especially 2025 among free-to-play games. Enlisted is not pay to win. Then how to bomb and how to fly planes. Well, this is more complicated, and it requires a whole video to explain, because planes are the most complicated aspect in Enlisted, especially when you're playing low BR planes that oftentimes have horrible flying characteristics. And luckily for you, I made 2 guides on flying and bombing, linked below, and that's all you need. And also made a few shorts where you can quickly see how to angle your plane if you want to hit targets with bombs and with rockets. Then how to destroy tanks. This is another good aspect about Enlisted. It's likely the most realistic game in the world when it comes to tank warfare. The only other competitor would be War Thunder, which, oh what a coincidence, uses the same models as Enlisted because they're copied. But War Thunder doesn't have the infantry aspect of warfare. So Enlisted gives you all ways to deal with tanks that were also used in real life in World War II. You can bomb them, which is the most reliable way, since the tanks barely have any chance against good pilots. You can rocket them, you can blow them up with TNT packs, throw them to the side of a tank, or under the tank if possible, but if you throw it under the tank, he dies basically always. If you throw it next to the side of the tank, it's close to the side tracks, it also kills the tank 80-90%. If you throw it on top of the tank, it depends on where you throw it, so unless you know tanks inside out, you better stay away from that. So throwing stuff to the side. TNT charges, also really good, though there you basically have to put it on top of a tank. Though they are so strong, they basically always kill tanks. Anti-tank mines are absolutely perfect. They one-shot every single tank in the game. And building anti-tank guns with your engineer works very well. Playing dedicated tank destroyers, not definitely a tank destroyer by definition, but tanks who have very strong cannons against enemy tanks. For example, if you play BR2 Germans, there's the great anti-infantry tank Panzer IIIN with a big 75mm caliber cannon, but this cannon, despite delivering high HE filler, doesn't have much penetration. So if you see yourself struggling oftentimes against enemy tanks, play a tank with a better anti-tank gun instead, like the Panzer III J1, which has just a 50mm caliber, but a long 50mm, so you basically penetrate every single tank in the game that you will play, or the Marder on BR2, which one-shots every single BR2 tank and also every single BR3 tank if you get up-tiered. So there are countless ways, and the easiest way is, of course, put TNT packs on basically all of your soldiers. You also want to have other types of grenades, of course, but if you build your squads, make sure that you at least roughly half of the soldiers should have TNT packs or TNT charges, and also make sure that you have an anti-tank gunner in almost every single one of your squads. Then, how to get more kills? Well, this is obviously everything that makes you a better player will get you more kills. The easiest way is to just play tanks. They're the absolutely easiest way. If you want to actually get better at the game and work more for the kills, well, then you can just play more infantry. But here's the most important thing. You want to have as much contact with the enemy as possible. Meaning you want to waste as little time as possible running around the map. So make sure you always spawn close to the targets, to the action, to the objectives, by placing close ready points on the flanks and also APCs. And then, even if you're a completely new player who has trouble aiming, you will see enemies so often that you're gonna constantly shoot them up. In order to actually get better at hitting and destroying enemies, I made an aiming guide, and I strongly recommend to watch it, because there you see all the tricks that will make you better and not only get you more kills, but also make sure that you survive very often. Ranging from aiming to recoil control to ambushing to moving around the map and so on. Then, how to get better in general. Yeah, there are many things going into this. I also made a guide how to, in general, get better at the game. Also linked below. Then, how to research level faster. Simple answer, get a premium account, preferably on sale, Sale is usually during Christmas and twice per year besides that. So if you're watching this video that's released in January, if you watch it roughly 3 months later, somewhere in April, then you will also get a sale, and then also somewhere around July there's also a sale, and then you can get basically premium for 1 year for $20. Outside of that, it makes sense to buy a premium for something like 90 days, which is also very inexpensive, and then wait for the sale. So yeah, premium account makes you grind roughly 3 times faster. The premium account itself gives you double the experience, but if you stack the little experience upgrades in the squads and also other tricks, it compounds on top of each other, and then you get a 3 to even 4 times faster grinding. So yeah, that's the best way, and just to win more games and get better at the game itself. Because the more games you win, the more 50% win bonuses you get, which is an extreme grind advantage. And a smart point to go to grinding: don't grind stuff that you don't need, focus on the stuff you absolutely want. For example, don't grind planes and tanks together, grind only one. Because then you get the strong stuff much faster. Same for soldiers, don't grind machine guns and SMGs together, just grind one thing and go as deep as possible in one line so you can get the stronger stuff. Also, I made a grinding guide specifically because there are many additional little tricks, especially after all of the changes of the last years, that's going to keep you up to date and give you the fastest grind possible. Then, how to upgrade weapons? Simple. When you grind a squad, you click on the upgrade tab on the top left, and then you see in the blue technology the squad itself. In the red technology, you can upgrade your soldiers to give them higher star levels, also to give them special stuff like pistols and backpacks. And on the yellow last tab, you get the weapon upgrades. And this is what you want to upgrade. You just level up the squad until you unlock all of the weapons and all of the weapon stars. And then you can, by spending silver, just upgrade your weapons from 0 up to 3 stars. And yes, this is extremely underrated. Many people don't do it because they think it doesn't matter. It matters a lot. Upgrading your weapons is absolutely essential and gives you extreme advantages. Because bolt action rifles, they might have high damage, yeah, but they have still some imprecision, especially on longer ranges, where you actually want to profit from the high damage. So you want that. Also, they shoot faster if you upgrade them, and bolt actions absolutely need the additional speed. Stuff like SMGs, they're already fast, yes, but they suffer from high recoil and from low damage. And upgrading them makes them also much more reliable. And machine guns are basically a mix of both, and they also need it, possibly even more than the other two weapon types, because there you really want the lower recoil and really the higher speed and also the higher damage. So yeah, upgrading is absolutely worth it, and now you know how to do it. Then, how to play campaigns. Well, campaigns were removed from Enlisted, or the campaign system was dissolved 1 year ago with the merge. Before the merge, you had 6 different campaigns. You had Moscow, Berlin, Normandy, Stalingrad, Tunisia, and Pacific. And all of them had their own maps. And also you had to grind all of them. So what you see right now in the tech tree, you had to do for every single campaign. Not as extensive as in the tech tree, but every single campaign had its own linear up to 40 level grind. Now, obviously, people got tired of grinding the MP40 5 times in the game, just to unlock it once again. So the merge happened and everything was thrown together, making the grind much faster. Because grinding back then was an absolute horror. And the campaigns were extremely one-sided. So one-sided that, for example, Tunisia had months, like 3-4 months, where you couldn't win with one side. It was either the Allies winning or either the Germans winning, but basically never balanced matches. Now all of this is much improved and much more balanced than before the merge. Now people who want to play campaigns, they either, if they're new players, mean they want to play specific maps. In that case, then you really want to see a picture link below, which shows you which maps you will get depending on what BR and what nation you're playing. This helps you out. And, as I already said, playing BR2 Germans is by far the best pick if you want to get the best maps in the game. You get the great Moscow maps, you get the cool Tunisia maps, which are very underrated, and you get also the good Normandy maps, of which half of them are really good, half are bad, but half are great. And you get basically no of the bad maps, and if, then very rarely. So yeah, this is the best way. And if you want to play the campaigns the way they were before, well, that's not possible anymore because the system is obviously changed. Theoretically, it's possible in custom games, though it's so much work and so much of a hassle. You're gonna have to wait 30 minutes in order to play one random game. So yeah, you'd rather just play the best BR nation combination for your liking in order to get the maps that you like. And also there's since we don't have map picking yet in the game, there's always the way to just leave maps you don't like in the beginning of the game. Some people are getting butthurt about it, yes, but these people should also, if they butthurt about someone valuing his time, well, like other people don't have any right on your time. And if the game doesn't let you pick the maps you want to play, it's the game's fault, not the player fault. So don't let any butthurts on the internet look and talk down on you. Then, how to get paratroopers? This is a very common question, because people see paratroopers, but, well, they see paratroopers on the enemy side oftentimes, but they don't see them in their own tech tree. Well, paratroopers are possibly the most pay-to-win aspect of Enlisted, if you want to call it this way, though it would be imprecise. Paratroopers can either only be bought or gotten in events. Now, these events on average happen once per year. So, yeah, bad for new players who just started out. Or you can get them in the loot boxes, though you will have to spend millions of silver to get lucky. So that's not much of a way. But you can just buy them as premium squads. Now, I made a premium squad guide showing people exactly which squads are worth it and which are not. The summary is the American one is good, the Japanese one is good, the Soviet one is good. Only the German one is bad, because it has one of the worst weapons of the German tech tree you can get, because it's a significantly nerfed version of the normal FG42. So yeah, this is the short summary. Now, is this pay to win? No, because paratroopers aren't that strong. They're fun to play, they're cool, but they're not really that strong as people make them out to be. So yeah, this is how you get paratroopers, but you don't have to feel bad about getting an unfair advantage over other players, because they're a balanced way to play the game. They're not too unfair. Alright, now let's go into the questions that you all asked in my post beginning of 2025. First, how effective do you think are artillerymen and especially smoke artillery? Radio men are absolutely effective and a must-have in every army. I recommend to have at least 2 squads in your setup with radio men, so you can always use artillery strikes once your 4-minute timer is up. Then, regarding smoke artillery, since it competes with normal artillery, you have the problem regarding timing. You rather have more destruction than smoke artillery. Same thing with bomber raids, since they also compete with normal artillery. They're almost always a detrimental effect on the team. Since they are very ineffective, they can be measured by just shooting them down, and they are very slow and they waste a lot of time. So you rather just have normal artillery or even rocket artillery that's a bit weaker but faster in order to constantly harass the enemies. Now, smoke artillery theoretically can be game winning by just leading to very quick caps on your objective as an attacker team, but it comes with the requirement of having good team coordination. If you call smoke artillery and only one random squad attacks the point, then it won't do anything. But if you have 3 or 4 squads instantly attacking, then it becomes basically impossible to defend. So smoke artillery is very effective if you're playing in a stack or if you're playing in an above average team. Now, the good thing is you can choose which type of artillery you want to call anyway, so you don't have to have special setups for this. So my recommendation is, if you see that your team is properly coordinated by having intelligent people and good teamwork, then smoke artillery can be really, really effective, and more effective than normal artillery, because normal artillery half the time also doesn't do much. So yeah, that can be a really good idea. Next question, what about clans and enlisted? Very simple, they exist and they are roughly 15 at the moment. How do you found one? You find 10 to 15 players, organize them together, and then you just ask another clan to play custom games against each other, which will be 10 versus 10, conquest games, currently with just almost no rules, just a few bans. For example, AP mines are banned, and that's it. There's no organized structure from Darkflow or Gaijin for multiple reasons, but I recommend everyone who wants to play tournaments in Enlisted to get yourself a little clan. So once there are tournaments, and there likely will be, nothing great, nothing with $1 million prizes like Counter-Strike, but there might be some little tournaments for fun, which is already a good first step. And this year, I think, even, as implied by some people related to Darkflow last year. Yeah, so you better be ready. Now, how do you found one? Yeah, you need 10 to 15 players, as already said. Definitely not less than 10 players. You roughly want 15, so since not everyone will be able to play always, you want a safe number. And then you decide for one team leader. And this team leader can go to the Discord server Clan Hub and join there. And then you have access to all the other clans, and you can just write with the other team leaders and organize games. And that's it. Now obviously not everyone can join this Clan Hub, because otherwise it would be spammed with thousands of people spamming stuff that doesn't relate to the topic. So yeah, just the team leaders are organized there. And that's it. It's quite simple, it's comfy, it's sweaty, yes, but you don't need to be afraid because almost all clans are quite weak. So it's very casual for the most part, and it's also quite fun. And most people are also nice there. Some are definitely not, but most people are quite normal, and they're not toxic. And you definitely will get better experiences playing these types of games than normal enlisted games, oftentimes. Because normal enlisted games, you can suffer from bad teams, you can suffer from imbalanced, overpowered enemy teams. But here, everything will be quite balanced and fair, and you also can actually use strategies, and you can use for coordination, since while you're playing, you're obviously sitting in Discord with your 10-man stack, and you're talking with each other, and the enemies are also talking with each other, giving you a much better World War II immersion experience than the normal way of playing Enlisted. Then, what are the differences among the Thompsons of the American tech tree? Yes, America has around 5 Thompsons in the tech tree, and most of them are almost identical, but not quite. Obviously, the BR5 50-round Thompson is overall the best. It has the best stats regarding recoil and of course 50 bullets. Then the BR4 Thompson is just better than the previous Thompson, since it has overall better recoil, but still the same amount of bullets. The question is, what are the differences among the BR3 Thompsons? Here it's simple. It's mostly the recoil that's different. And here's how you do it. You just pick all of them. You just play all of them. And then you find out what's working better for you. And that's it. This is how you choose the Thompson. I noticed myself, I switched over from one Thompson to another over the course of a few months, because I noticed even though on paper one has better recoil, the other one just feels better. So you just try out which one is better for yourself. Then, do I think Enlisted is gonna move into post-war scenarios like Korean War, Vietnam and stuff like that? This is constantly asked, and I assume it's mostly asked by people who played the game for 2 weeks, because not a single veteran I know looks forward to that or is urgently demanding an expansion beyond World War II. Why? Because World War II has literally infinite content. You can make dozens of new maps, which will already take you 10 years. You can still include countless new weapons, especially modifications, especially if you start including different realistic World War II skins. You still have many tanks, you can do many different special tank variations. and you can also include many new nations. So there's literally no shortage of content. You can also expand into more amphibious maps where ships become useful. Obviously, not something like Normandy, D-Day. It would be too one-dimensional. But you can have something like the Norway campaign, where you constantly had little boats and cannon boats and little like 6-man rowing stuff that you landed. That would be quite useful. You could have lots of amphibious warfare and little ships on the Pacific maps. So yeah, this could be added. Lots of things can be added. I'm very sure there's no shortage of content for the next, definitely not next 5 years. And if the Gaijin is intelligent and creative, which it sometimes can be, I'm sure there's more than enough content for 10 years of World War II. Now, what's the actual hard argument why Enlisted should stay World War II? Because if it starts expanding, it will collapse. It might experience short-term player growth, but then people will notice, wait, if Enlisted waters down, and it's already very thin regarding quality, especially in the coding department, if it starts watering down, it will be a half-assed World War II game and a half-assed Vietnam game and a half-assed Korea game. But there are already better games for all of this. So the only way for Enlisted to succeed economically is if it becomes the best free-to-play World War II game in the world. Possibly also overall World War II game, which it easily can, by the way, because it has the best tank and plane models, which no other shooter game has. So yeah, Enlisted, if it wants to succeed, will stay in World War II. And I think Darkflow and Gaijin also understand this.